Hello folks. Alright. I was going to do video, I don't know, I was feeling self-conscious after trimming the facial hair, which, I felt like it was going to get warm. I better get used to it before the summer, but I don't know, I just don't like myself with short facial hair at the moment. I don't know. PC space, I know I could clear some stuff up. Some stuff I don't absolutely need to have, but it's also a factor. But anyways, um, I don't know if I'll release this one. I might to my philosophy channel. Yeah, this is something that is totally not pseudoscience. Yeah, I'm doing something to relax, have a good laugh. I mean, if you believe this stuff, good for you. If not, good for you. I mean, to each their own. I'm just going to read this along. I try. I've been to some of these places. I know it's not. It's completely true. I haven't swam at them at night. Maybe only at night or to certain people you'll experience more of this paranormal stuff. I don't know. Some people are dead set that this kind of metaphysical thing definitely exists. Some people are like, that's a bunch of baloney. I have no idea, man. At the end of the day, everybody's going to believe their own things. I remember watching one TV show. It was like, oh, I was definitely getting haunted. I could see a white figure. Well, he was in college. He was super stressed out. Like, of course, I think the chances that it's some kind of like stressful response. He was like getting no sleep, and the problem seemed to compound himself because he was getting no sleep, because he was seeing ghosts. Because actually, I remember there's one. I think I'd seen it on Reddit. Somebody was literally hallucinating. They were fighting Voldemort, and they could literally see something. Like the brain is weird, man. The more you think about it, how the divisions of consciousness is. Like we all have a heart or a inner mind, reptilian mind, whatever you want to call it. People like calling it the heart because it makes them feel good, but really it's just a part of the brain, man. Um, I don't know. It is really spooky. I think it is kind of creepy when people talk about it, but if we're going to talk about the complete, which I'm not here to do today, that's just way too draining, way too complex. It's like, man, there's just so many metaphysical things, or not even metaphysical, just biological things that are so complex. Eco grief is super complex. I mean, I'm still figuring it out, but I think I've gotten the vast majority of it to where I can actually fight for places that I love that seem to be in terminal decline, etc. But sometimes I just have to take a night off and just read this scientific literature. Okay, let's get to it before I get too worn out or tired or something. Man, I just drank some coffee. Maybe that's why I got a little energy boost, instant coffee. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to edit this. It's not worth it. Okay, 10. So this is totally not lying at all. Florida stuff. This is from a blog. I'll post a link in the description. 10 paranormal swimming holes in Florida that will make you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone. I don't know why I said Florida like I've never been there. I've lived here my whole life. Florida. Ew. You'll be shot by some rednecks down there. No, it's also interesting. Florida's the only state you go, the further north you go, the more south it feels, which is true. I would consider the north to be the part of the deep south, or it has much more in common with Georgia apparently than Florida, the rest of Florida. Some people don't even consider they're from North Florida. They consider, it's like all New Yorkers and Bostonians in Central and South Florida. Like that's a stereotype, man. But well, whatever, teach their own. I mean, people hear my accent. I don't think I have an accent besides an American accent. It's just normal. Yeah, lived in Florida my whole life. Raised by people from up north, I suppose, or at least my dad was originally from up north. Anyways, okay. 10 paranormal swimming holes in Florida that'll make you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone. There's so much to do at many breathtaking watering holes found across Florida that you might not even ponder the fact that some of them are crawling with paranormal activity. Man, They just went for the jugular in that first sentence. Okay. Whether you're in the water, on the water, or on the banks of or surrounding areas, these creepy and sinister entities will have you fling for your life. There's not even an exclamation mark. I feel like there should be. Okay. All right, here we go. Updated February 10th, 2020. The thing about water is it's a natural conduit for the spooky forces to travel through, for ghost boats to evil spirits and dark terrors who want more than your flesh. There are some only want your immortal soul. Yeah. Selling your soul to the devil, that's definitely a thing. If you venture forth further to experience the horror for yourself, don't say you weren't warned. I've been to some of these. I've swam in some of these. So yeah, it's totally not pseudoscience. Okay, number 10. Juniper Springs, Silver Springs. Those are two different springs. Which one's it talking about? Oh, it's in the Silver Springs area, Juniper Springs. Okay. What's not to love at Juniper Springs, known as one of the oldest and favorite watering holes in Florida? The crystal clear water under the trees and palms is where a sinister force resides. I hope this isn't cringy. I can't help myself saying this voice. I can't say all this stuff with a straight voice, man. A straight face. Okay. According to the witnesses who report that it induces a trance that's almost impossible to shake off, especially if you're on your own. Mostly targeting older people, it's said that the first sign is the body growing weak. Then the eyes start rolling back. Yeah, because older people don't naturally become weak. Okay, anyways, while swimming, especially most old people. One woman reported how her grandfather was suddenly rigid and slipping underwater, but his eyes were the most frightening. I think that's just hypothermia, buddy, but okay. She dragged him out in a panic, but luckily, several hours later, he was back to normal. Okay, so one random guy went stiff. I think he was at death's door. How I wish it would say like how did he pass like a year later, half a year later? Maybe that was part of it. Okay, anyways. Number 9, Wakiwa Springs up in Apopka. Everyone loves seeing wildlife when visiting the best swimming holes in Florida, and Wakiwa Springs is no different, unless you count the bizarre sightings which involve the appearance of turtles swimming by. Turtles are so bizarre. That's the first time I've heard that. Man, this is more fun than I expected. Okay. Visitors advise that you might think they're turtles, but they're only a hallucination at first. What? They're only a hallucination. All right. 2 young witnesses stated that they thought it was cool to swim with turtles, but when they suddenly saw ghostly human eyes peering from under the shells, they were terrified. I think this is my new inside joke. You think those are turtles, but look deeper within the shell. Okay, I need to calm down. I'm in an apartment place. They probably think I'm insane or something. Okay. Oh, okay. Straight face. Oh, I'm glad I did not drink today. That's not the norm by any means, but okay. Straight face. Okay. Depression, reality. Okay. Straight face. Believed to be helmets belonging to the spirits of unknown soldiers. How does a helmet become a shell? Okay. Reports say that if you get too close, they'll bite you. Oh, wow. I've never heard of... That's because there's no survivors, right? The turtles will just bite you in your jugular if you get too close. Never mind that in every other spring I've seen people swimming. I've swam with turtles at Alexander Spring. Apparently this only happens at Wekiwa Springs. If you see a turtle in the Wekiwa Springs, headwaters of the Wekiwa River, I've been there. But not to the head spring, thank goodness, because I didn't know that the freaking turtles are just... The freaking turtles are 2 young witnesses that they're actually 4 more people that'll haunt you. Oh yeah. I mean, oh man, good times, good times. I need a break here, man. Oh man, I did not expect to read something like that. Now I'm cursed. I hope I didn't curse you as well. Alright, I took a break. Definitely had a few good laughs. Ate some dinner. Might eat a little bit more, but yeah, man, if you're not laughing, I don't care what's going on in your life, what is in decline in the outside world. It's not always easy, man, especially when you're grieving, you're depressed. I've heard some people have gotten so depressed, like they can't enjoy anything or laugh at all. I feel really, then you know you have a body chemistry issue, but I think the vast majority of people don't have a body chemistry issue, that they don't need drugs, but not here to preach or anything, even though I was tempted to do a video about your worth is not tied into whether people accept or reject you, and maybe I will make a video on that in the future. Teal Swan has made some great videos that have really helped me. I mean, I already kind of picked up on the stuff, or I would like to think I picked up on most of the stuff, but yeah, I'm just too close to burnout, I think, to yeah, there's see, because I know most of our pain and suffering in life. Why am I making this all serious? This is a fun episode. But yeah, just don't worry. Don't expect too much. Don't just worry and expectations. Okay. Causes most of our pain. Okay. Number 8. Itchy Springs in Fort White. Thought of. Okay. And don't get me wrong. People have died drowning. Does that mean you're going to be haunted by them? I don't know. To each their own. Maybe it's schizophrenia. Maybe they're just old. Maybe it is paranormal activity. I don't know. Nobody knows for sure. Okay. Itchy Springs, Fort White, thought of as one of the prettiest watering holes in all of Florida. These springs are surrounded by lush greenery, trees, and bushy areas where invisible entities are often heard stalking through the woods. Visitors report hearing footsteps and twigs snapping when nobody is around, along with a creepy feeling of being watched. I mean, I've had that feeling too, but usually it's just vultures. I don't know. They like looking at me when I kayak. I don't know why. They're just bored or something. And last time that happened, it was a hog actually. It could be a skunk ape. Skunk apes definitely exist. I've seen a few. Or so I'll say for the purposes of this video, why would people make up skunk apes? Who in their right mind would walk through a swamp? It's too gator and snake infested. Why the heck would somebody wear an ape suit? Never mind when snakes and all those aren't active in the winter. Okay. One witness advised that he heard whispering in the bushes while swimming, so he climbed out to have a look. He heard whispering in the bushes while swimming, so he climbed. I would think he would probably run away before you put yourself in danger by climbing trees. So I don't know, to each their own. I don't know, to each their own. When he heard the whispers telling him he should unalive himself, he was mortified and he raced back to the water, followed by stomping on the ground behind him. Yeah, that'll teach him. Once in the water, the whispers stopped, but he was depressed for weeks afterwards. Oh, that's depressing. I mean, at least at least wait until they assault you or something. Like, why would you just be depressed when they're just whispering at you? I don't know. Okay, moving on. Onwards and forward and onwards. Number 7, Troy Spring in Branford. I've been there. That's like a stone throws away from Georgia. Or no, Live Oak is. But Branford's pretty close, I suppose. Okay. Troy Spring. One of Florida's most memorable vacation spots. Troy Spring. Not the hiking trail. The hiking trail's okay. At least there is a naturey hiking trail. The spring's pretty good though. I heard it's pretty deep. It was browned out when I went, but the river floods and it floods out the springs. But anyways, Troy Spring has an unusual haunting that involves a phantom steamboat. Yes, they're actually it's not a whole boat. It's like more just ribs. But yeah, there are some Civil War era ship remains there. thought of as the spiritual remains or an imprint of the Civil War era steamboat which was deliberately sunk at this location to keep it from ending up in the hands of the enemy. An eerie mist starts forming. Then the steamboat glides through with several lonely ghosts on deck. There's really no deck. It's just the ribs of the boat. Okay. Some say this is totally a scientific paper. Okay. That to see the boat is to herald the end of your life. Whoa. That's not a threat. I don't know what is. Pray that you don't pass over here, otherwise you'll end up drifting forever with the cursed spirits aboard the mysterious and eerie steamboat. I think that's called being an idiot and swimming in the Swanee River. Especially during floodwater. Oh my goodness. The first time I went to Swanee River, that river was trucking in the upper river and the lower river. Because I couldn't go snorkeling, so I just drove around to several spots in Swanee River. Yeah. I mean, that's any river, though. When it floods, you don't want to swim in that. Okay. Number 6. Manatee Springs in Chiefland. Considered to be one of the best spots for swimming in Florida. If you're not allergic to filaments algae, there's plenty of filaments algae in Manatee Springs. Okay. Manatee Springs is also known for the strong and swift undercurrents. Yes, that's true. But don't think for a moment that anything normal's going on. Don't think for a moment that anything... Man, whoever wrote this article should get a raise. Like, seriously. Or if it was multiple people, like, give them a pizza party or something good. I don't know. Good pizza, not racetrack pizza. I stopped buying racetrack pizza, the gas station. I realized what was up. There's no pizza sauce, right? It's all just looks. If you want some cheesy bread that tastes kind of good, got some meat. It's just meat and cheese. There's no sauce. How do you call that a pizza when there's no sauce? I know that to make it profitable, but anyways. Okay. I don't know why I was talking about racetrack pizza. Huh, okay. But don't think more about anything locals have said what you feel underwater are the rushing and swirling ghosts of a family who drowned many years ago. Don't you know how springs work? So every other spring is natural and normal, but it's just this one spring. It's all ghost. So all that water, the millions and millions of gallons that pour out of Manatee Springs are ghosts. How do they renew themselves? How does that work? How do they transform into water? Anyways, a young woman who advises that she is a strong swimmer was horrified when she felt ice-cold hands wrap around her ankles and dragged her under. Okay, if you're swimming against the current and something's dragging you under, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I would definitely swim away. That does not sound like a fun walk in the park. Swim in the pond or whatever you're doing. Okay. Then she was swept away by a number of icy hands, doing her best to fight as she bumped her head on the rocks and roots. Ooh, that sucks. Although Manatee Springs is one of the swampier, there are some stones that they put there. I could imagine that. Yeah. You don't want to freak out when you're fighting those ghosts, that's for sure. When she finally surfaced, she vowed never to return. That's a local. So you know she's not lying. She's well-educated, I mean, how does somebody make that up? Oh, man. It's hard to top that turtle story, man. Talk about peaking early. Oh, man. Okay. Number 5, Wakulla Springs. That's in the Panhandle. I've never been there. Wakulla Springs State Park. If looking for a place to hike and swim near you, you might want to think twice about paying these springs a visit, especially at twilight. Make sure it's recording. Yes, it is. Visitors advise that a creeping mist lays low under the surface of the water is really a blanket of ghosts trying their best to sneak up on their unsuspecting victims. You know, I think this is happening, but they drag their victims away, no traces, and that's why you don't read about these things on Google reviews, apparently. So apparently it's real, and yeah, the people are so horrified that do survive. They're so afraid of the ghost that the only person who knows about these things are the authors, apparently. Yeah. Okay. Cool. An older woman was reported to have suffered a heart attack after being covered in the ghostly mist. She screamed and then sunk under. But when the ambulance arrived to take her to the hospital, she was babbling on and on about the evil spirits in her heart. Many say she was lucky to have survived. Evil spirit. I wonder, huh. There's a lot of options there. But yeah, it has to be evil spirits. I mean, the person says it's evil spirits, and she was babbling like she's never babbled before, apparently. After diving Wakulla Springs, I would definitely avoid there. Yep. Yep. One star. 1 star review. Yep. Okay. Good to know I should never go there. Okay. Number 4. Madison Blue Springs State Park. Lee. There's a town called Lee? Huh. That's kind of neat. Yeah, that's off to the... That's really a stone throw way across Georgia. Okay. I know where that is. Now thought of as one of the not-so-secret swimming holes in Florida, many cave divers enthusiasts flock to this location. What they don't like to talk about are the shadow people seen in the caves, floating in the water, and then suddenly attaching themselves by climbing onto the divers' backs. Wow, that's intense. I mean, you'd think they would like sneak up behind them and stab them or something, not just piggyback off of them, but okay, whatever. A couple who endured this nightmare advised that they were having a blast until the girlfriend began to scream and then swam away in a panic. Okay. Once her boyfriend got out, she found her shrinking on the banks. He said that she kept screaming, "Get it off!" But there was nothing there, apart from the claw marks on her shoulders. Yeah. So I guess they tried taking a picture and it was cursed and they had to delete the picture or something. Yeah. Oh man, I only have 3 left. Damn. I mean, how do you top that? Claw marks. I mean, maybe. I mean, that's what it has to be. Claw marks. I mean, yeah, an invisible ghost can impact physical damage. Some of them can only whisper. Some of them can impact damage. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Just don't go to the springs. Yep. And the cold water is definitely the evil. It's from the evilness of the spirits, obviously. Except when it's winter, then they try to burn you because the water is warmer than the environment in the winter. Okay. Anyways, I'm just hypothesizing here. That's not part of the article. Okay. Number 3, Fanning Springs State Park in Fanning Springs, right up the road from Manatee Springs. So you know that area is haunted. Okay. Many agree this location is one of the best Florida lakes you can swim in. That's not a lake, that's a spring. Okay, anyways. But some visitors say they'll never return after facing a chilling entity in the water. No one has seen the spirit, but they have definitely felt it. At random cold spots. Okay, that could be somebody peeing, or it could be a ghost. I don't know, you tell me what's more likely. That morph into temperatures below freezing all of a sudden. A young mother reports that her 5-year-old daughter started screaming while the family swam around her. She says that she'll never forget the huge difference in temperatures when she swam only a couple of feet to get her. Her daughter ended up with hypothermia and insisted that she had a monster in her blood. So yeah, that's one of the more polluted ones in the whole state, Fanning Springs. I wouldn't swim in there, to be honest. It's pretty sad. That's a huge spring. It used to be a first magnitude, now it's only second magnitude. So at least there's less haunted. It's less haunted now that there's less water. They're pumping the groundwater to haunt the crops. Apparently, if that's all the groundwater is, right? It's just evil spirits. You need to get rid of it. So it's a good thing that they're killing off the springs. Joking aside, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I have been in what's it called? in the ocean, and sometimes you'll feel cold spots. But yeah, science apparently hasn't told what it is. So apparently, I've been haunted by experiencing those cold spots sometimes, and I think, yeah, sometimes you just get hypothermia. It's not from not eating enough fats and being too skinny. It's just all from evil spirits. Yep. Okay. Got top two. I have a gut feeling that you might be cursed just by hearing the last two. Cursed for life. Anyways, I haven't even been to these two, so that's a good thing. Okay. Number two, De Leon Springs State Park. De Leon Springs. When trying to do some cliff diving in Florida, a group of friends decided to go kayaking instead, and we're having a great time until this way, you know it's going to get good. One of the men called out that he was snagged on something. It must be a ghost. He soon screamed that there was something in the water, while his friends watched in horror as the water began bubbling and churning. His wife also screamed, saying that there were white hands gripping the side of the kayak. Ooh, why they gotta be white, man? Why they gotta be white hands? Anyways, it started to rock, and they were soon tipped over. When the other members of the group tried to paddle over and help, they too saw hands that were tipped over while their kayaks were ferried away by invisible entities. So you're kayaking, and it wasn't the current of the spring that carried the kayak away. Obviously, it was ghost, right? Okay. It was lucky that none of them drowned. I don't know why that's number two. That's definitely not more intense than people reincarnated as turtles, let alone claw marks or whatever else there was. People piggybacking off of you. Okay. Alright, how long have I been recording this? Oh, 27 minutes. 27 minutes of something you'll never get back. Time you'll never get back. Time just ticks, ticks, ticks until it's gone forever. Okay. Number one, Crystal River Preserve. Crystal River. Oh, wait, I have been there for a school field trip, but I don't really remember much of it. Anyways, one of the main attractions here are the manatee who reside in the beautiful clear waters. Oh, the manatees are ghosts? Or the manatee. Yeah, I'm going to say it manatee because there's one YouTuber who enlightened me. She pronounced it manatee, and why would anybody pronounce it manatee? Manatee, if it's not correct, so it must be manatee. Okay. Some believed that she was the epitome of pure goodness, and one witness advises that she was saved by a large one when she encountered a black mass under the water while she was snorkeling. She was saved by a large manatee? Oh, okay, that makes sense. At first, she thought she was heading toward a manatee, but when a horrifying face broke through the darkness and lunged at her with her long white fangs, she freaked. I almost feel like I'm like a movie trailer voice at this point. Okay. Long white fangs. Hard to argue with that, science. Okay. Wow, this article has 16.8 thousand shares, so it must be a top-notch science, obviously. Okay. It was only when she felt a bony hand around her throat that a manatee swam at her and nudged her back to the surface after scaring off the nightmarish entity. Wow, good guy manatee comes and saves the day. What would you do without those manatees? You're carried off by dark masses of evil spirits, apparently. Yeah. So you didn't hear all this from me. This is top secret, right? This won't be published in public, or it shouldn't be. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that logic. Why would somebody make all that stuff up? Along with ancient aliens and skunk apes and all that stuff that definitely exists. Skunk apes in the Everglades, man. Why would there be a skunk ape headquarters, right? if they weren't a myth, why would you sell a shirt that has a skunk ape on it if it's not a real thing? Why would you build a statue of a skunk ape? I'm surprised there weren't any skunk ape. Maybe some of them are skunk apes, just in evil spirit form. I don't know. I hope this wasn't too out there, but you know, you only live once. You gotta laugh sometimes. You have to talk about the manatees and the evil spirits and everything, and that's right and wrong in the state of Florida. And yeah, you have any doubt that I'm not a Floridian? I'm obviously not a Floridian because my great-great-great-grandfather wasn't a Floridian. And apparently people on Facebook informed me you're not a real Florida cracker unless your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was a Floridian. So, you know, there's that. I'm just a poser. Yeah, I'm just joking there. Yeah, just everybody, whatever they say is taken with a grain of salt. And definitely this blog, it really enlightened me. Really, especially the turtles. Especially, I know I'll never go to those places. Thank goodness for that. These people reviewing on Google that seemed like it's all Photoshop, right? You can see people swimming in these springs. They're not being haunted. It must be Photoshop. This is total top-notch science. So yeah, I'm definitely going to listen to this before posting this. But damn, it's getting late. I have to go through another 5-day work week, man. But at least my job isn't the worst. If I had a job that made me go insane, I don't know what I would do. I mean, that applies to anybody. Are you going to kill off your wild spirit just for a job you hate? Yeah, I'm so lucky. But I don't know, some days are better than others. I mean, that's real life. That's reality. Yeah, just keep smiling. Don't, you know, I've said already some good advice, so I think that's a good place to bookmark it before I mess it up. Yeah. Bookmark it or end it. Yep. This podcast is already cursed enough, so that's enough. Alright, goodbye. Hopefully not for good. No. Yeah, I'm going to see those evil spirits tonight. If I don't be careful tonight, spreading too much haunted knowledge. Okay, cool. Until next time.